Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I've been getting a lot of messages saying, okay, I have my NCLEX, but I don't want to go through the New Zealand route of getting the Australian license, right? If this is what you're interested about, stick around and let's dig in. Okay, so if you're just meeting me for the first time, I'm not Sylvia and I work in the UK. Okay, if you've got your NCLEX, maybe from any of the US Board of Nursing, probably Texas, New York, and all of that, but you don't want to go through the New Zealand route, or probably you're in some other African country, you don't want to go through New Zealand or UK route, just stick it around and I'm gonna give you the juicy thing. Okay, so usually people ask me a lot of messages and comments under my comment section asking, because most people have already gone through getting their licenses, writing NCLEX from the US, but because of the retrogression, right, a lot of people want to divert, want to look at some other countries that are easier to get, because especially when you're just writing your NCLEX this year and the bulletin is already in February as of the bulletin that came out some days ago. They are in February 2023 for the rest of the world and Philippines. So if you're in the rest of the world and Philippines, there's still retrogression, except for those that they filed for their I-140 before February 2023. Okay, so for Indians, I think they're still in 2013. And also, if you're under the rest of the world, other countries, just know that retrogression has got you. So yeah, like I said, if you have your NCLEX but you want to try out getting your license in Australia, but you don't want to go through the whole New Zealand route, or if you're not eligible to go through the New Zealand route and you just want to go straight to Australia, stick around and let's talk. Okay, so I already mentioned in my previous video, for those of the nurses in UK, Ireland, USA, Canada, Spain, right, you have your own streamline. I've already mentioned that in my previous video, because new rules are evolving, new rules are coming up. They are also changing, they're also upgrading. So whatever you have, just start now. Do not waste time, guys. Okay, so I think I'll just be looking down, just in case you see me looking down. I'm just trying to get it directly from their website. Okay, so if you have your NCLEX, all you have to do is to register with the Nursing and Midwifery Board of Australia, the NMBA. Now, remember, there are two different things. In Australia, we have NMBA, we have AHPRA and ANMAC. Don't get yourself confused, okay?
Thank you for the memories, for the hugs, for the journey that shapes and transforms us. Beautiful life, you are the song that never says goodbye. Beautiful life, how beautiful you are.
So ANMAC, of course, is where you do your skills assessments. They assess you and then either give you a positive or negative outcome, right? So NMBA is the Nursing and Midwifery Board of Australia. So once you have your NCLEX, you just have to like send your results to NMBA just for them to check if you meet the registration standards. So it's not because you have NCLEX and then yes, you're automatically registered in Australia. No, they will have to check. So before I continue, guys, whatever I say here is based on my own research, based on my own knowledge. I'm not an expert. I'm not a licensed expert or affiliated with any agency migration wise. No, just do your own due diligence, to do your own research and make your own informed decision. Okay. As that being said, let's continue. Okay, they said this involves assessing your qualification and experience to ensure they align with Australian standards. You may also need to complete additional assessments such as outcome-based assessments. So that's the OBA, the OBA.
Every day is a gift, every day is a gift to paint with love and laughter. On the road we find stories, steps that intersect, dreams that intertwine. And in the gaze of the stranger, we find pieces of ourselves. Beautiful life, how beautiful you are. Woven into threads of hope and stars. Every day is a gift, every day is a gift to paint with love and laughter. Sometimes we stumble over thorns, but they are the ones who teach us to value flowers. And when the rain falls,
So sometimes your case manager might say, you know what, I'm waiving that off for you. But sometimes again, they might want you to write that outcome based assessment, right? Or you need to sit for another NCLEX in Australia. So you see, guys, that if you have NCLEX in USA or Canada, doesn't mean you're automatically going to get registered in Australia. It's not like you getting your New Zealand license and it's almost like automatic that you're going to get your Australian license, right? So they still have to check all that. And the requirements at that time you're requesting, because things change, rules change, right? So you just have to make sure the NMBA will check your results and if it's equivalent to the Australian standards at that time of your submission. Okay. So, of course, they have to assess your eligibility, whether you're in stream A or stream B. I have mentioned differences and eligibilities for stream A or stream B in my previous video. So, if you haven't watched that, please do and watch it, okay, so that you can understand. Okay, so if your nursing qualification is considered substantially equivalent to an approved Australian qualification or based on similar competencies, you may be in stream A or B. If not, you may need to take additional assessments such as the NCLEX or OSCE. So before I continue, guys, you already know that even if you have written your OSCE in UK, you cannot transfer it. So the OSCE in the UK is not transferable to Australia, because if you're going through that route of just registering straight to Australia, you need to write NCLEX and you need to write OSCE, right? So even when you have your OSCE written in UK, you cannot transfer that OSCE, but you may be able to transfer your NCLEX, okay? So don't get it mixed up. So let's continue. AHPRA approval, you need to first apply to Australian Health Practitioner Regulation Agency, that is the AHPRA, to have your NCLEX result considered for Australian registration. This involves providing a copy of your NCLEX RN candidate report, including the authorization, jurisdiction, test date, and results, right? Like your board of nursing, the date, and everything. So, like I said, maybe Texas Board of Nursing. And I think I heard that they have like an alliance with Texas Board of Nursing. I'm not sure, but guys, do your research, right? So yeah, so there's an of course online application where you have to apply for registration with the NMBA through their online portal. Ensure you accurately fill out the form, the application form, and follow all instructions. Required documents. You will need to provide your supporting documents such as evidence of your NCLEX score, proof of your nursing qualification, and other relevant documents. So they have to just ensure you meet all the MBA registration standards, including criminal. So you still have to do all this, almost everything you did before you wrote your NCLEX. You still have to do it with Australian Board of Nursing, right? So potential assessments could be that outcome-based assessment, which is the OBA, just for them to know. That's basically on a case-by-case basis, right? Yeah, so depending on a specific situation, you may still need to take the NCLEX in Australia, even if you have a previous NCLEX score. Guys. So the OSCE is a practical assessment that may be required for registration. So successful registration, once you have successfully completed the required assessments and meet the NBA's registration standards, you'll be eligible for registration as a nurse in Australia. That's it. So important note: changes to the system. Be aware that the Australian nursing registration process is subject to change. So it's essential to stay informed about the latest guidelines and everything, right? So it's just basically about letting you know that even when you have your NCLEX, you may still have to write another NCLEX. So it's a case-by-case basis, right? So whatever it is, if you're still thinking about it, or you're still waiting and thinking the rules will still be the same by the time you make up your mind, it may not be the same. So if you're still there and you want to get your Australian license, do it now. Okay, guys? So stop waiting, keep doing it, and hopefully your case manager may not want you to do the extras. Okay, and as I said earlier, it may not affect people in UK, Ireland, US, Canada, and Spain. Okay, so do well to do your research. If you have any questions, you can call AHPRA. If you have any questions, you can call NMPA. They will always answer, as far as their timelines, because it could be the time differences between countries. Just try and call them. They always answer. I call them to ask them about the OSCE, if you're able to transfer your results, and they said no, that you have to write the OSCE. And as the UK does, you have to come to, like when we wrote the OSCE, you from your country, you have to come to the UK to write your OSCE. So as the Australian OSCE, you have to go to Australia, like get a visa, probably visiting visa, and go to Australia and write your Australian NCLEX. So do your own research and see the one that will favor you. Okay, thank you guys for sticking around to the end of the video. I hope this helps you. Don't forget to watch my other videos where I mentioned how I got registered with AHPRA, and the pathways which favors you, whether New Zealand or Australia. If you're still debating about whether to go through the New Zealand route to get the Australian license, or to just go directly to Australia to get the license, especially those that with the NCLEX results, right? Thank you so much for coming to the end of today's video, and see you on my next video. Bye bye.